So here we are at the Nibiran jungle. The idea was to create something that sort of felt like the old Star Trek show, but make it a little bit more real.
3, 2, 1.
Once we cut to our characters a few minutes into the movie, hopefully fulfills the kind of promise at the end of the first film gave the audience, which was they're going to go off and have adventures.
They're trying to kill us! Head cut. So good.
It's great to start the movie with this sort of Kirk Bones, relationship, like a old married couple that are at each other. This is a classic Star Trek set. I mean, it really is. If it weren't for the fact that it's actually outside, which is wonderful because it breathes a whole lot of life into it, it's always much better to have the elements there that you can actually physically react to as opposed to, having to use your imagination. The design department's done a phenomenal job. They really have. From the sets to the way that the Nibrians look, it's coming together really well.
We originally intended to go to Hawaii to shoot that sequence, and we were going to do some colorization to the film to create the Red Planet. And then when we went and scouted it, we'd come to realize that it was just going to be too expensive to do it there. So we started going around looking at various pieces of land where we might grow vegetation and create that world. Eventually, we came around to the fact that we were going to have to build a big section of it.
We have seriously been working on these trees, painting all this foliage for about 6 months.
We're going to attach 3 dozen of these leaves to the tree, per tree, at 175 trees. So it's 500 dozen altogether.
So we wanted to stick with some tropicals, but one of the things we noticed when we did our tests in Kauai was that there's so many different kinds of leaves that it just kind of became a jumble. So we wanted to bring it down into a certain flavor. So the flax, which is the pointier, the tall ones that you see in there, we definitely like those, and there's smaller versions of that. Although our island is volcanic based, we wanted a very kind of mossy, soft look. So we actually do have different kinds of moss in there and shag carpet. You name it, we've got it thrown in there. It's great.
So our Nibirans, of all the things that we were designing on the show in terms of character, were probably one of the most collaborative and iterative designs.
They're very well maintained aliens.
This particular design was very challenging because it had changed over the course of time from the very, very beginning of the film when it was all CG to now where it's actual actors in makeup.
Just before we get into adjusting his nose or changing things, let's just look and see what he looks like. It would be great to just sort of find something with the most basic version of him so he can really perform it. Get closer?
Yeah. I wanted you to see.
They're basically putting on the base layer of the skin, and then they're going to put on some mud and some costume and show me to JJ and see what needs to happen from there.
I would argue it's probably a better thing to just go all mud, all white, and then the mud paint stuff on.
Got it. Of these, then, is there direction from just a pure graphic design standpoint?
I don't think it'd be too scary.
Yeah.
It's crazy good. It's going to be amazing. It's really going to be crazy.
Can I touch?
Sure.
One of the coolest things for me is actually seeing these people in the makeup, them turning into the characters and doing things with it that I never anticipated or even thought of.
3, 2, 1, action.
We're flying the camera through set here. We're hanging on Tech 12, so nice string, basically rope. And we get to drive it back and forth. We can go up and down. It goes really fast. It's a fun rig.
They're trying to kill us! They're trying to kill us, Jim! I hate this! I know you do!
So we're about to start shooting the volcano part of the opening.
The volcano that we built wasn't a massive set, but what we had around it with the embers that special effects put and the pyro, we had so much going on that once you put Zach up there in the outfit with the reflections and everything, it just all totally came to life.
This is part of the machine
that shoots a 30-foot fireball up in the back. It's got big propane bull line going to an accumulator in the back. This plastic tube you see is what we call the tube of death. That we have a blower on one side and we put smoke in it. We pop little holes, we can surround the entire set with it and have this atmosphere smoke constantly instead of a guy running around like we used to do in the olden days. These are our spark emitters. They sift in this activated charcoal. We heat up the tube and then it just goes right out the top.
Whoa, it is insanely hot up here. I'm pulling focus on the A-camera first AC, so it's my job to pull focus on the actors, and I can't do it if I'm not in good position. So put this fire retardant suit on and hat and went in there and did my thing. It's also dreamlike. All the embers just floating. It almost puts you in a trance.
We have an amazing helicopter pilot that is flying close to the set. It was one of those moments when you're making a movie saying, this is a really big film.
Thought about it for a long time, you know, creating this suit that Spock would descend into the volcano, and I thought the color copper would be beautiful. Probably the worst thing that you would ever want to wear in a volcano because it conducts heat so well. But I just kept thinking about the reflection of the flames, and I just thought how beautiful it would be.
All of the stuff that took place in the volcano was one night, and it was pretty exciting, actually, I have to say, because you could tell how incredible it's going to look. What they were able to do in camera on that particular sequence was mind-blowing to me.
What is that like? That looks hard.
It felt like falling into the volcano at high speed.
Good, Zach?
So good, man. Check it out. It's so good.
It feels kind of like, I feel like I'm inside a fireworks show. It's just like everywhere I look is sparks and embers and fire and smoke. It's crazy.
So we're on the last shot of the volcano sequence, which I think went really, really well. Much more epic than I even thought it would in camera.
Here we go, rolling and action.